back to my channel. My name is Chaotic Witch Hunt, also known as Frankie, and today, in collaboration with other witchy creators, I am making a doorway spell for my house. I'm actually making two because I kind of already have one, and I'm just going to talk about it a little bit, and then I'm actually going to make one. So I have, as kind of a preliminary already existing doorway spell, a garlic braid. If anyone ever doubted my Italianness, this is it. And you can see I have actually pulled some garlic off the bottom of it. I typically anoint this with Mountain Conjures Michael the Archangel oil every once in a while. And I just like to kind of say a prayer to Michael, usually a folk prayer. I just like to anoint the bottoms of the garlic, give it a little rub in. And this hangs by one of my doors. I also have another one that was made, is a like door handle type of spell, made by my friend Gigi that I use, but you can see I pulled some garlic because I was out. So whenever I'm using, like making contro malocchio bags, whenever I'm doing anything like that, I will actually pull a garlic off of this or take a clove off of it, just because I've kind of been working with it for protective purposes for a while. So garlic braids are very commonly found in lots of different places and cultures, but especially Italian and Italian American, because garlic is the ultimate protector, the sign of Saint Michael. So it's customary to hang one in your home to protect it from evil. So I prepared mine by anointing it with oil, saying a blessing to Saint Michael over it, and asking him to protect the house. What we are doing today, though, is I am going to be making another doorway charm. The goal for this is kind of to create something similar to a garlic braid that I can kind of hide. I don't necessarily want to make a really big charm. I kind of have a lot already, but we're making another one for the video. So I like to use iron nails or steel nails in my doorway spells, and customary is like 3 in my tradition. I dropped one. I love using coffin or iron nails for this purpose. These are actually, I think, steel. Iron nails are actually incredibly hard to find, believe it or not. And I have, of course, a little bit of black ribbon and some garlic cloves. I am going to be incorporating some protective charms from my culture into this. So you'll notice that I'll have like, I'm going to get actually I think I only want one garlic clove. They're kind of stinky, but I do have oil in my hands. I'm just going to rub it a little bit. Some other ways that I like to make doorway charms are like charm bags, but I don't want to make a charm bag today, so we're doing something else. I have some coral that I would like to incorporate, although I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, because these coral chunks are like tiny holes. And I don't know if I have anything thin enough to go through it. I can maybe try a pin. Yeah, I have another like charm thing that I've made. That I did something along those lines. So let's see if I can get some 3 coral pieces. The real question is, where are my pins? I've done something like this before. So these are my other coral pieces. These were a gift. These I got. These are actually bamboo coral because I prefer to get kind of more ethically sourced coral a lot of the time. Unfortunately, people aren't always upfront with what kind of coral they're using, so I have found it sometimes difficult to get bamboo coral. They'll be like, coral. I'm like, what kind? They're like, coral. I'm like, okay. And a lot of the red coral that I do have, I've had for a long time, and I'm very stingy with it. So we're actually gonna use a red needle, and I'm just gonna start by seeing if I can get these coral pieces through. Stack. I'm gonna actually cut some black thread or black ribbon. So I love using something like black ribbon or black band, just because it feels very similar to a lot of things in Italian culture. I'm actually gonna move my garlic braid, and I'm gonna point you guys, if I can. Hello. So I'm working trying to incorporate kind of all of these items in my spell. I have some black thread. I almost want to make some knots. I didn't incorporate coral last time. So I'm gonna start with this cornicello. I'm not gonna bless it or anything because I just find these to be incredibly potent on their own. I have a San Benedetto medal and a Our Lady on Tire of Knots medal. I am going to anoint the Our Lady on Tire of Knots with a little of my unbinding oil. The reason I'm choosing Our Lady on Tire of Knots is because I believe that she will not only protect the home, but will kind of keep any sort of bad things that could be binding out of the way. And San Benedetto is a very famous like devil chasing medal. So we're starting with these two. This is the Mano Cornuto. It's the rock on symbol, or like the devil horns is another way of putting it. So we have these two charms here. I'm wondering if I can kind of get this in the middle. I think I'm gonna push the coral in out a little. Wrap the pin and then loop. So I just like to go for a go-to kind of black band just because it feels convenient. I always have it on hand and that's nice and snug. So now we have the cornuto, the coral, and the cornicello. I'm gonna fire this up with a Saint medal, put a San Benedetto on there. I do thoroughly enjoy the Saint Benedict medal. I just find it to be really potent. So the other things that I'm putting on, I'm actually gonna try and keep it like a small area just because I'm thinking about hanging this and where I'm gonna hang it to, and I don't want it to be too dangly because the cat will knock it down. What I'll probably do is incorporate a nail hello in each part of this. So kind of parse it out a little. Okay, that was rude. It's one. I think the pins add a little bit of an extra flair to this as well. Should I have done the nails first? Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna make a loop first and then I'll worry about getting it on there. What's happening? Okay. So I got this. I need to be over here. I'm not sure I know what I'm doing. I fear this Mano Cornuto is just moving with the knot. So I'm just gonna knot that. All right, and then we're gonna you can tell when I craft things like charm wise, it's usually a relatively chaotic process. It's not very cute. So I need to get one more nail on here. And it looks kind of haphazard right now, but it does have a lot of fun, potent things on it, which I appreciate. I think I'm gonna move this nail over here just because it's convenient. I could either hang this with the garlic braid or I can move it to another area. Does anyone know how to keep a pin from doing things? Not me. The last kind of aspect of this is another garlic braid. Get a red pin or another piece of garlic. Give it a wrap. So this is what it looks like. So I have varying degrees of things on here. I have this nail, a metal, another nail, a corno, some coral, Mano Cornuto, another nail, San Benedict's devil chasing medal, and on the end a clove of garlic. So what I will probably do now is I will go through and like bless each item. I also like to spray all of these things with a certain spray. I'm using St. John's Blessing water today because I'm out of my roux spray, my personal roux spray. And I'm being careful of the pins. Be very careful of the pins. Place it to your hand. It's like a blessing. So I like to keep my doorway charms relatively chaotic. Neat! As you can tell, they're a little all over the place. I am gonna try to tighten this knot on the end though. So while I originally planned to have the top, I think it's actually better if I create a loop here. I'll probably put this on the inside of the house. I do have some doorway charms on the outside of the house, like my EI charm, a rose, and I typically like to enchant those energies to assist me. The goal with this doorway charm is to kind of create like a catch-all, almost witch's ladder, which is interesting because it's got so many Italian things in it, but it really is a very witchy type of thing. A lot of the protective charms we'd see in Italian American culture would be along the lines of like something that would look more similar and common in the home. I didn't end up using bamboo coral, but I did end up using a lot of protective charms. The only protective charm I'm not seeing on this is like a Malefica, and I typically like to wear those on earrings, on everything. I believe that the iron nails, the 3-way iron nails, are for blessing, and the 4-way 4 iron nails would be for cursing, and that is a formula I found in Power Magic by Thomas Hochschild, A Theory from the South, where he discusses how a breve bag or a lashine bag, I don't think lashine is right, but like a breve bag or something along those lines, would contain all of the similar purposes, all the similar herbs for cursing, but in a different amount and with different prayers. So we would see, you know, similar items, coffin nails or iron nails, typically coffin nails, but there would be 3 instead of 4, or we would see like the same type of herbs, but there was a different amount, or they were blessed differently. And I think that this really kind of pays attention to how that duality of folk magic exists, really kind of looking at how we can use items for healing but also cursing, and a lot of the times they tend to be used for similar things. You can use someone's lock of hair to protect someone, or you can use it to curse someone. Garlic is a really potent medicine, but it also can be a poison, same with rue, and there are just like all these kind of duality aspects of Italian and Italian American folk magic that I really like to cast upon and work with when I'm making something like a doorway charm or a protective charm, because it supplies that protective element, but also that kind of like around and find out element. Whereas if somebody comes in and is a little bit like iffy, or someone sends something my way, there is that element of sending it back, or the protection being a little harsher. And I'll show you guys how I hang this. Thanks so much for tuning into this video and choosing to watch it. Before we enter the video, or after we enter the video, wherever Voga decides to place this, I just wanted to give a short little announcement about something that I'm very excited about, and I think you should be excited about too. This past month, I was able to sit in on my friend Sanray's Order of Chaos course. If you are unfamiliar with Sanray, he does the Order of Chaos YouTube page. He does a lot of interviews. I personally really enjoyed the course. I felt that I was able to kind of get something from it, even though Sanray's practice and I are very different. I felt like it was a really good kind of beginner or intermediate course. He definitely encourages you to do your own research. He definitely encourages you to think outside the box of what we kind of see in a lot of witchcraft books and what we kind of see in a lot of witchcraft schools. I enjoyed it so much that I am actually going to be guest teaching next month in Order of Chaos. and I'm going to be talking about ancestor veneration, approaching ancestors, kind of beginning to work with ancestors. So if you're interested in participating in that and being a part of that, I would really encourage you to purchase access for this guest teacher slot. You are able to kind of get a slot even if you don't want to do the full course, or if you're interested and have the capability to do so, participating in the full course and seeing if you, like me, will get something from it and really enjoy it. I love that Sanray encourages questions. I love that Sanray encourages a kind of differing point of view, and one that is very intertwined with quantum theory and chaos magic. And it really did bring me back to why I got interested in chaos magic in the first place. And even though I'm now like a full folk practitioner, I think that that's still a part of my practice that I honor, that I kind of try to tap into. And I think that it would be really amazing for people who are interested in that in particular, or interested in kind of an intermediate or beginner witchcraft course to take. So like I said, I'm going to be guest teaching next month in Order of Chaos Mystery School. I'm going to be talking about ancestors and ancestor veneration, especially setting up an ancestor altar, kind of how to approach the ancestors, any sort of questions that you may have. And I will be linking a code down below, or the website down below. You can use code CWA, be my initials, for $50 off the membership, the class subscription. Or if all you're able to do is sit in on the guest lecture or me and the other teacher's guest teacher slot, that is okay, and that is understandable, but I do encourage you to check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and remember, Siete Benedetti. That's not how I say it. Siete Benedetti. Yeah. Just making sure no one gets an evil eye off me.